The number one request on yesterday's video review of the Fujifilm X-H2s was autofocus in video mode, so this is a full video showing you more about that. Here we go.
Sorry. Alright, I'll stop.
It's Tuesday night trivia, and what a more perfect time to test out video autofocus. No? Okay. 6400 ISO also, so maybe a high ISO test as well. They're also sitting in the darkest pocket in the entire room, so the televisions in the background are going to be blown out, and don't worry about the dynamic range being bad because Gerald Undone actually proved that there are 14 plus stops of dynamic range if you're shooting f-log2, which is pretty crazy. And as you can see, kind of see in the corner, I am shooting the classic chrome profile, so I'm just doing a film simulation. This is just straight out of camera footage. Also, if there's anything else, any other tests that you want to see, feel free to put them in the comments and I will be happy to do them or include them in another video if they're not a full video on their own. And now we get to watch Darcy and Tim struggle with umbrella placement at our dinner last night. Goes on for a long time, a lot longer than you'd expect. I also currently have the autofocus speed set to 5, which is kind of maxed out, and subject tracking to +2. And if you want something that's a little bit more cinematic in between when it focuses on Tim and then it goes to Darcy, and you want your focus pull to be slowed down, slow it down and make it more cinematic. You can do that. You have the technology. Well, you don't yet, but once the sales embargo lifts, you will. And this is just to show you how fast the autofocus kind of snaps whenever you are on +5. Whoop-ha. Slap the lip, get pitted. So pitted. A few more eye autofocus with sunglasses, which may be interesting to you. It works quite well. Here's another little focus snap, and you can see that because I'm probably on +5, it's a little too sensitive overall, especially on those closer macro shots, but again, slow it down, and it's nice. Here we have Taco Tuesday tacos. Tuesday's a really exciting night here in Canada, where we have tacos and trivia at different places, though. And you might be surprised to learn that Canada has 2 restaurants. We do. This is my can modeling, and moving closer and further away from the camera. Huh? Dark environments or bright environments don't really seem to have an impact on the autofocus. It kind of works the same under all conditions. I have it set up right now for eye and face detect and not objects. If I did have object detect set up, it would be selecting vehicles. But again, it's finding people to focus on, which I still think is pretty crazy. If you saw the full review, you know how far away those people on the beach were, and it worked successfully. Look, it's our studio. Wow, right? My name is on a window on the 2nd floor in the center of the frame. This is where Tim used to work. Cora's breakfast. All right. Still going to be in AFC, but we're going to change out of +5 for speed. AF mode, we are on multi still. I will show some area examples in a minute here, though. AF speed, let's go all the way down to -5. And I'm kidding. We probably should do that. Well, let's do it for a minute. If you're shooting stuff like this, it doesn't really matter how fast your autofocus is because everything's just in focus. Stephen Hawking used to be the director of this building, or the chairman of it, or something. They do physics there, but they do not do physics here at the glove box, where we have arrived. Now that we've arrived, I've switched to back to 0. So Tim thought it was a little too slow. So now we're set. Still +2. And at AF 0. Here we go. I would say the IBIS is pretty natural. I'm also not obeying the 180 shutter rule right now. I'm just shooting at kind of whatever makes sense. I'm going to guess around 1/90th of a second, maybe 1/80th of a second. When I get close to things, it doesn't perform exactly as my mind would expect it to, but so getting close and doing macro isn't the most ideal. So if you are going macro, do something like this. Do area. Now all of a sudden. So yes, it is not like a Canon R3 or R6 where you can just kind of pull it out of the box and it's just immediately set up and ready to go for every situation. It does require maybe a little bit of hand holding in certain situations, but it definitely performs well. You can also make the box smaller if you want. Here are your box settings. Here you go.
You got this dual cable, which works really well.
And here I am actually trying to hold the camera nicely rather than just run and gun in it. Now we are moving the tracking sensitivity up to 4 and going to the moon. Or at least we're going to record Paul talking about the art that's on the wall behind him. This is me walking I wouldn't say trying to be a human Steadicam, but not walking too hard, doing a normal walk. I don't know where the lines are for walks. Anyways, I think it looks pretty good. And that the way it pulled focus was very nice there, to be honest. Now we're going all the way to 5 AF speed. And I'm going to show you something I noticed. That this kind of moves in 2 segments, if you can see that. The way that it achieves focus, it seems like it does 50% of the work and then 50%. I don't know. Is that a big deal? Not really. How often are you going to do a shot like that? Probably never, but something I noticed. I've now taken IAF off, and it's just doing regular autofocus, not focus on a face or an eye. And I don't know why we're doing this. I'm just trying to do some tests and see how it performs differently. There we go. Well, me. I just want to give another shout out to how clean the rolling shutter is. A movement like this on our Canon R6 we're filming on, shooting 4K, everything would be sideways. And then Tim wanted to fly the drone inside, and for his sins, we let him. Is that how you use that term? Here it goes. Again, my eye would probably have focused more on the actual controller rather than the screen, but it chose the screen, so that's what it does. Here's Tim's drone, filming some art. And here we are leaving. I have things in both of my hands right now, and I am not trying to be a human Steadicam, but I would say that this looks really, really good. We go maybe a stop underexposed once we go into the staircase, but all things considered, this is again with the AF speed as fast as it can go. I am honestly quite happy. All right, so one of the bummers is that if you are in manual photo mode and you want to click this button, it is a similar problem to what the R6, the Canon R6 experiences, where you actually have to move the dial to unlock manual controls. If someone knows the answer and knows how to fix this, let me know. But right now, as it stands, you're taking your manual photos, click, 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 click. Then when I hit this button up here, I have on the side there, you can see that I can do exposure comp, so I can go either up or down, make it brighter or darker. But I can't really change anything. I guess maybe I get ISO. It looks like it's auto ISO as well. You can change aperture if you had something set for aperture. So that is nicer than the Canon R6, but unfortunately that might be a limitation. But again, chime in the comments if you know how to fix this.